Hi guys, welcome back on SportsKhabri, Curious Harry and Arun Foot. बहुत बातें हो चुकी about India's performance in the AFC Asian Cup. A lot of negatives we have already discussed, but now it's time to talk about solutions. We have to face Syria in the next couple of days. Of course, not a lot can be done because we have a limited squad. उसमें भी काफी लोग injured हैं, but whatever can be done, we will try to discuss that today. Thank you so much, Hireen and Arunwa, joining us. Hireen, I'll ask you first. क्या लगता है आपको quick fixes क्या हो सकते हैं with the current squad?
Hello to everyone first of all, and definitely it's a very important game, no doubt. आप पहले दो मैच हार चुके हो, ऑस्ट्रेलिया उज्बेकिस्तान, मोरल डाउन है, एंड जो कि आई थिंक टूर्नामेंट से पहले भी आई थिंक काफी बार हमने डिस्कस किया है कि इन दोनों मैचों का रिजल्ट आपके प्लेयरों के माइंडसेट के ऊपर क्या है, वो आई थिंक ज्यादा मैटर करेगा एंड वो डिसाइड करेगा कि आपके प्लेयर की परफॉर्मेंस क्या आती है. आई थिंक सो प्लेयरों का कितना कॉन्फिडेंस है, वो सारी चीजें हैं. Still there is a hope obviously for a round of 16 आपका मतलब in terms of the calculation wise अगर आप देखें तो, but it's a tough road without a doubt क्योंकि सीरिया जिस तरह की परफॉर्मेंस पुट अप करके आ रही है, no doubt they क्या बोलते हैं कि lose against Australia and they draw against Uzbekistan, so they have a really good chance कि यहाँ पे इंडिया के सामने जीतते हैं, then comfortably go into the round of 16. So I think confidence wise देखें they come up with you can see higher confidence, and हमारे प्लेयरों की थोड़ी सी आई थिंक मे बी कॉन्फिडेंस डाउन होगी. मेंटालिटी किस तरह की होती है आई थिंक वो ज्यादा मैटर करेगा इस मैच में रादर देन आई वुड से कि चेंजेस, क्योंकि चेंजेस तो आप जो भी कुछ कप ऑफ प्लेयर्स में भी है निगल बिगल और आप उसकी जगह पे किसी को रिप्लेस कर दोगे, लेकिन हमने देखा है कि उतना ज्यादा उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आई थिंक इस तरह के टूर्नामेंट में मेंटालिटी और वो सब आई थिंक आज भी परफेक्ट एग्जाम्पल हमने देखा जिस तरह से साउथ कोरिया के सामने जॉर्डन का परफॉर्मेंस था. अब क्वालिटी वाइज देखें, नो डाउट साउथ कोरिया इज अ सुपीरियर टीम, इंडिविजुअल ब्रिलियंस एवरीथिंग इज देयर, बट अब आप देखिए जिस तरह की फाइट जॉर्डन ने दी और जिस तरह की मेंटालिटी और कैरेक्टर दिखाया, उसने उसको यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि भले ही इवेंचुअली लास्ट में वो इक्वलाइजर आ गया, बट स्टिल ड्रॉ इज अ गुड रिजल्ट फॉर जॉर्डन इन टर्म्स ऑफ दी अगर आप देखें दोनों टीमों की क्वालिटी वाइज. सो आई थिंक वो मैटर करेगा. अगर हम यहाँ पे कुछ भी थोड़ा सा भी एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं रिजल्ट, तो आई थिंक चलो जो भी आए, ड्रॉ आए, जीते हारे, आई थिंक जीतते हैं या फिर ड्रॉ आते हैं देन दैट वुड बी अ बिग रिजल्ट, बट आई थिंक मैटर ये करेगा कि आप आपकी मेंटालिटी, आपकी कॉन्फिडेंस क्या है, एंड एज अ टीम आप अपने किस तरह से रिकवर करे हो इस दोनों लॉसेस से. आई थिंक उससे पता चलेगा कि कितनी फाइट आप सीरिया के सामने पुट अप कर सकते हो, एंड वो देखना इंटरेस्टिंग सा रहेगा. आई थिंक वो उससे ही पता चल जाएगा, आप जज कर पाएंगे हम कि वेयर वी एक्चुअली मतलब इन टर्म्स ऑफ द प्लेयर्स मेंटालिटी वाइज एज अ टीम, आई थिंक एज अ यूनिट कहाँ पे ये टीम खड़ी है एंड क्या क्या चेंजेस इसमें आफ्टर द एफ सेशन कब तुरंत होने चाहिए, वो आई थिंक वहीं से पता चल जाएगा. सो आई थिंक इन दैट टर्म्स आल्सो आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी वेरी क्रूशियल गेम कि प्लेयरों की एज अ टीम एंड एज अ कोच सबकी आई थिंक यहाँ पे टेस्ट होगा. सो लेट्स सी यहाँ पे टीम सिलेक्शन में आई थिंक आगे बात करेंगे, बट आई थिंक दिस आर दी थिंग जो मेरे को लगता है कि ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगी टू पुट अप अ फाइट अगेंस्ट सीरिया.
Arunwa, your take.
I think the last couple of days we've seen, what mentality, passion, a fighting spirit can bring out of teams. I'm just watching Malaysia playing against Bahrain, and Bahrain are in 100% control of the game. Malaysia are physically dead. They still have to play 15 plus X minutes, but they're giving everything. This is something which I'd seen in the Indian team last year in the SAF Cup, when we won the SAF Cup, where the team is giving everything. They are trying. I don't have that feeling at the moment. That's the concern I have, that this team, even if your opponents might be technically superior, football-wise superior, you give them a fight. You try and get something out of it. And this looks like, I don't know, there's something missing. And I think this is something that the coach needs to figure out and find a solution to, that this team is able to play its best, because the team, let's not talk about the Gulf in standard. We've done enough about that. But with fighting spirit and all these kind of elements which are important in football, you can do something. Again, Iraq is not better than Japan. Jordan normally is not a team which is able to hold South Korea. Indonesia does not beat a Vietnam. But these teams have given their opponents a fight. Even here, Malaysia, I said, the commentator said a little while ago, Malaysia is playing a 5-5. Two lines. There's no striking option, right? So we now need to find options and solutions, and the coach might utilize players who he's not thought of, and try and see if the team can bring some sort of a result.
But from the coaching perspective, of course, some people agreed with the decisions that were made in the last game. Some people, of course, strongly disagreed. So from that perspective, what are the changes that both of you think should be incorporated in against Syria?
अगर अगर आप स्टार्टिंग 11 में देखें तो इस सच इन फ्रंट लाइन में भी नोरेमस वाज गुड आई थिंक अगर आप देखें अगर उज्बेकिस्तान आई थिंक वन ऑफ द फ्रंट लाइन में जैसे ऑस्ट्रेलिया के सामने चांगते ने कुछ स्पार्क या फिर कुछ मोमेंट्स आपके लिए क्रिएट करके दिए थे आई थिंक आई वुड से सेम फॉर दी नोरेमस की जो उसने वो शॉट लिया या फिर कुछ उसकी मतलब लेफ्ट साइड से कुछ होता हुआ दिख रहा था एटलीस्ट यहाँ पे वहां से कुछ पॉसिबल है मनवीर कंप्लीटली लुक्ड आउट ऑफ द यू कैन से टच अगेंस्ट उज्बेकिस्तान सो मे बी चांगते अगर फिट हो चुका है और उसको निकल नहीं है देन आई थिंक उसको यहाँ पे लाना चाहिए आई थिंक नोरेमस एंड चांगते के साथ मेरे को लगता है कि आई वुड प्रीफर टू गो विद दोस टू सुनील छेत्री में भी अगेंस्ट स्टार्ट बिकॉज आई थिंक वो लास्ट मैच में हमें देखने को मिल गया कि 72 मिनट में उन्होंने सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दिया था तो कहीं ना कहीं वो भी रहा होगा कि आई थिंक नेक्स्ट मैच को उसको यूटिलाइज करना है सो आई थिंक फ्रंट थ्री में तो आई थिंक मैं एक ही चेंज देख रहा हूँ मिडफील्ड में आई थिंक अपुया इज कवर द मोस्ट डिस्टेंस अगेंस्ट उज्बेकिस्तान सो दैट शोज कि कितना ज्यादा उसका गेम में इन टर्म्स ऑफ द इन्फ्लुएंस है सो आई थिंक वो स्टार्ट करना ही चाहिए दीपक टांगड़ी अगर फुली फिट है तो आई वुड गो वांट टू गो विथ हिम एंड अटैकिंग मिडफील्डर है टू बी ऑनेस्ट आई वांट टू सी ब्रेंडन जैसे ही ब्रेंडन आप देखे कि उज्बेकिस्तान के सामने आया यू वांट दैट कॉर्नर एक की पास निकाला उसने सो आई थिंक यू नीड दैट क्रिएटिव मिडफील्डर टू स्कोर चांस एंड इंडिया नीड्स टू स्कोर दैट गोल सिंपल एज दैट आई थिंक विनिंग लूजिंग डजंट मैटर नाउ आई थिंक वो एक गोल आना चाहिए तभी टीम का कॉन्फिडेंस भी आएगा क्योंकि आई थिंक जब तक आप गोल स्कोर नहीं करते आप कोई भी गेम प्लान लेके जा रहे हो कि डिफेंड करना है जो भी करना है आई थिंक वो प्लेयरों में भी वो नहीं दिख रहा है कॉन्फिडेंस तो आई थिंक उसके लिए भी मेरे को लगता है कि यू नीड दैट गोल एंड वो गोल फर्स्ट हाफ में आता है देन आई थिंक यू नीड अ बेटर चांस टू समथिंग यू कैन सी की होप फॉर सो दैट्स व्हाई आई वांट टू सी ब्रेंडन टू बी 100% श्योर कि ब्रेंडन होना चाहिए एंड बैकलाइन में आई डोंट सी एनी टू मेनी चेंजेस टू बी ऑनेस्ट आई थिंक मे बी सेम बैकलाइन के साथ जाए मे बी प्रीतम कोटल राइट पे स्टार्ट कर जाए निखिल पुजारी की जगह पे एंड आकाश मिश्रा लेफ्ट में आपका टिकिंग फुल बैक रहे सो दिस आर द 2-3 चेंजेस रहेंगे इफ any no more player get you can say कि carry forward the niggle in the after the Uzbekistan game so वही चीज है आई थिंक बाकी तो आपके ऑप्शंस अगर आप बेंच पे भी देखें तो उतने ज्यादा ऑप्शन मिडफील्ड में आपके पास नहीं है अभी आप मिडफील्ड में उतना ज्यादा कुछ चेंजेस नहीं कर सकते आपके पास थापा था थापा ने उज्बेकिस्तान के सामने अपने खिला लिया सुरेश इज ऑलरेडी देयर फ्रंट लाइन में आपके पास विंगर्स में ऑप्शन है विक्रम प्रताप सिंह है लिस्टन कोलासो को लास्ट मैच में फीवर था उदान था तो आई डोंट वांट टू सी बट स्टिल ही गोस टू स्टेमिक यूजिंग हिम बैक लाइन में भी आपके पास सेंट्रल बैक में ऑप्शन बन सकते हैं बट आई थिंक वहां पे कोई चेंज नहीं करना चाहिए तो दिस आर द चेंजेस जो मेरे को देख रहा हूँ कि शायद इगो स्टेमिक यहाँ पे करे
Arnav, do you see Sunil starting again? Or do we have any other option?
Well, the options are either Manvir or Ishan Pandita. So the question in itself is that, and potentially looking at that this could be Sunil's last game. That at the Asian Cup, I think that most probably he will start.
Yeah, but any other changes that you think the coach will be incorporating?
It depends on how fit the players are. I felt that certain players, you could see the tiredness from the Australia game. Again, this is a level of football which we normally don't play, and you saw that that the players were sort of struggling in the first half, therefore there are certain options that the coach can think about. Again, how bad is the Changte injury? That's the first question. Sahal seems to be a complete passenger on this trip. I think that's a question that needs to be asked. That I know that the player is so will not return before next month. So how does a player get onto the plane in that situation? But that's most probably a question for after the Asian Cup. the Thapa is something what I'm not sure. I mean, I've read a lot of people that they thought Thapa played a very good game. Maybe I missed something. I didn't feel Thapa was that impressive. So again, I am doubting actually by now the football sense of a lot of people who I thought understood football, honestly. Or maybe they're paid to say certain things. I don't know. That seems to be the problem. I think Brandon needs to come in. I think Brandon showed in the few minutes that he's that creative element. He needs to, we need to see how we can get that in, because otherwise nothing will happen. I think that's important. We need a little bit of creativity. Last few days. This might be actually the toughest of our matches. I feel the Middle Eastern teams, with the support that they have in the stadium, I think that atmosphere, India, Syria, will be great, because there will be Indians, there will be Syrians in that stadium. And I felt that, Japan and Korea to some extent also, were impressed by the atmosphere and this whole thing that there was around these matches. And that's something, even if you're watching a little earlier, the atmosphere Bahrain against Malaysia, it is very, very interesting to see. So this is something which will be a little different. We've had so far two home matches. So yeah, let's see. Let's see where we go. But the coach, will most probably make a few changes. I don't even know if Gurpreet starts the game, or maybe he puts in Amrinder. He's done that often in the past. So therefore, there could be changes as well. I think Akash Mishra needs to start. I felt Akash was our best player against Uzbekistan. Akash needs to stay in that position, and then we'll see what he does.
I think maybe मेरे को लगता है sir, sorry to interrupt. I think मेरे को लगता है अपुया also maybe अपुया भी मेरे को लगता है कि maybe उसकी जगह पे दीपक टांगरी को लाया जाए, क्योंकि continuously 2 मैचेस से ही खेलता आ रहा है इतनी हाई इंटेंसिटी में. तो लेट्स सी वो किस तरह से रिकवर किया है. आई थिंक वो डिपेंड करेगा, फिटनेस के ऊपर ज्यादा डिपेंड करेगा कि कितने प्लेयर यहाँ पे मैच फिट है. आई थिंक उस हिसाब से ही स्टार्टिंग 11 में चेंजेस हमें देखने को मिलेंगे. जैसे आई थिंक उज्बेकिस्तान के सामने भी देखने को मिला था कि आपके एक दो फोर्सफुल चेंजेस थे. जैसे दीपक टांगरी फुली फिट नहीं था, अदरवाइज वो स्टार्ट कर जाता. फ्रंट लाइन में चांगते नहीं था. आई थिंक वही चेंजेस आपको ज्यादातर देखने को मिलेंगे.
तो फुली फिट एग्जैक्टली मतलब देखा जाए तो कितने लोग बचे हैं अभी स्क्वाड में जो फुली कंप्लीटली फिट हैं?
इसका कोई एग्जैक्ट उन्होंने अपडेट नहीं दे रहे ना वो कि भाई ये फुली फिट है. वो तो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में भी पता नहीं चलता कि वो फुली फिट है कि नहीं. वो तो आफ्टर मैच की जब स्टार्टिंग 11 आती है तभी आपको पता चलता है कि हाँ भाई इतने प्लेयर फिट है और ये शायद यहाँ पे डाउटफुल है. तो तब तक कुछ वो अपडेट नहीं आता ना. दैट इज द थिंग.
I also have a very important question for both of you and also the other people who are watching this podcast. That who do you think our coach is going to accompany to the press conference tomorrow?
Oh, that's a good question.
Tomorrow, नहीं, day after.
Monday.
It's 22nd, not the match.
No, 23rd.
Oh, my bad. 23rd. Sorry, my bad.
Yes, 22nd is a holiday. So India is also coming to team also coming to India.
Yeah. Guys, he's just cracking a joke, हाँ? ऐसा नहीं है. Considering how things are, I'm afraid some people might just believe this.
मैंने आज I think मैंने आज सोशल मीडिया पे देखा था कि तो किसी ने कमेंट डाला हुआ है कोई वीडियो पे कि टीम भी सीरिया को बोल देना चाहिए कि 3 पॉइंट आप ले लो. 22 को हम भी वो क्या बोलते हैं कि कोरोनेशन सेरेमनी में आ रहे हैं.
Yeah. But again, so tomorrow, guys, we'll be on leave then. but yes, who do you guys think will be accompanied to the press conference? And please, other people also in the comment section, you can let us know.
Whoever doesn't play will come to the press conference. I would.
That we know.
That's why everyone know, na? Everyone know.
That we know. You have Jingan. We have one.
So,
I think.
My hope is it is not Apuya.
I think Manvir.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not. I hope it's not Apuya. I hope it's not Suresh. I hope it's not Deepak Tangri. I hope it's not.
मेरे को लगता है कि नहीं मेरे को लगता है it will be मनवीर या उदान. either one of them. मेरे को लगता है ये दोनों में से कोई एक है.
मनवीर तो पिछले मैच में भी आए थे ना तो.
नहीं, पिछले मैच में कहाँ पे वो आया था?
ओ नहीं है, ओके, गवर्नमेंट।
पिछले मैच में
Am-
अमरिंदर सिंह था।
Amrinder,
अमरिंदर,
and first
हाँ,
match was
फर्स्ट मैच
Sahal.
में सहल, हाँ। इसमें मे भी लिस्टन भी आ सकता है, उसको फीवर था तो मे बी अगर रिकवर नहीं किया है तो वैसे तो उसको फीवर है तो मे बी डाला है, बट आई थिंक ये आ सकता है भाई।
Fever say, I also had a question for you, Arnava. Considering that COVID cases are rising in some other countries, are there any protocols being taken with regards to COVID anymore, or
Not that I know of.
thought so? There's a question that I was asked to take. Defend 90 minutes. What's good? Defend 90 minutes, lose 2-0 to Australia, attack and lose 3-0 to Uzbekistan. We made 4-5 changes against Uzbekistan. We lacked clinical finish. What was right, according to both of you?
Um, Again, did I watch a different game against Uzbekistan where we
आई थिंक सो,
did we not defend?
हाँ।
You have to also recognize Uzbekistan put his foot off the gas. If Uzbekistan continued like they did in the first half, again, we discussed it yesterday. Don't go by stats. If you want to watch a match and read a match, watch the match. No, don't even watch the highlights. Watch a match, because a football game is not about highlights, about match stats. It's about watching 90 plus minutes these days and then seeing what a match is about. Because Uzbekistan in the first half did what Australia did to us in the second half. And for us, we have to be smart. Iraq had under 30% of ball possession against Japan and still won. Japan were all over them actually. But Iraq scored two crucial goals in that first half and only conceded a goal in added time. That's the art of defending. That's the most important thing. Again, even our defending against Australia in that first half, we were defending bravely, but we were also at the start of the game trying to create something. I think the most important thing is the first 15-20 minutes against Australia was the best from India in this tournament, in my opinion, so far. Forget what we chances here and there and some combination against Uzbekistan. The first 15-20 minutes showed intent from India. The rest of the tournament, if the opponent has allowed us space, then we could have created something. And one of the biggest things is our players seem to be scared. And for us, that the players rather play a pass back than trying to look for spaces and trying to look for players in our attacking.
एग्री, वो तो सर ईगो ने नहीं नहीं, ईगो स्टिमिच ने भी आफ्टर दी ऑस्ट्रेलिया गेम वो एक्सेप्ट किया था, आई थिंक उज्बेकिस्तान की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में, कि जब बड़ी टीमों के सामने खेलते हो तो वो डिक्टेट करते हैं कि किस तरह से गेम चलेगा, आप नहीं डिक्टेट करते। एंड आई थिंक वही वही देखने को मिला। आपकी बात बिल्कुल सही है कि फर्स्ट 10-15 मिनट्स ऑफ द ऑस्ट्रेलिया गेम इन द फर्स्ट हाफ वाज द बेस्ट, आई थिंक, जहाँ पे इंटेंट सब कुछ था। एंड आई थिंक जिस तरह से हम डिफेंड कर रहे थे, अटैक कर रहे थे, वो दो दो बार आई थिंक चांगते ने लेफ्ट साइड पे रन बनाया, सुनील छेत्री का वो हेडर, एवरीथिंग वाज, मतलब वो कहीं ना कहीं आफ्टर दैट मिसिंग लगा, और प्लेयर थोड़े से वो स्केयर दिख रहे हैं टू टेक द रिस्क एंड गो फॉरवर्ड विद द, यू कैन से, की पासेस।
And I think another thing to add to this is, I think whatever happens against Syria, we need to be very, very clear that our Indian football system has multiple problems. Whatever, even if we by chance beat Syria, those problems don't go away. Even if we had upset Australia or Uzbekistan, the problems are evident. We need to take care of these issues. Otherwise, yes, we get into the Asian Cup every time, most probably, but there's no hope for us to try and create something. That is what disappoints me in this tournament. In 2011, we were clear. India's going into this tournament. 1, 3, and 5 of Asia is in our group. We will get hammered. 4-0, 5-2, 4-1, I don't think is a hammering. but that was, we tried. Watching this Bahrain against now, we were actually 1-1 against Bahrain, and Al Sadd Stadium went berserk because India, Bob Houghton was trying to tell the team, stop playing football, try and defend first. And Bahrain scored 3 goals against us. That's the reality. That's the challenge that we have. And therefore, we cannot forget that what we need to do and try and do the best to the abilities, and then hope that we can improve.
In the 2 games, who is your personal favorite? One athlete that you both think did exceptionally well, and one athlete that you according to you really needs to step up in the next game. You can only name one. And people in the comment section also, please let us know.
आई थिंक इन दैट सेंस जो दोनों मैच खेले हैं वो वैसे तो देखे तो आई थिंक गुरप्रीत, झिंगान, अपूया, सुरेश, सुनील, ये सब दो, मनवीर, ये सब ने 2-2 मैचेस खेले हैं, तो आई वुड गो विद अपूया देन. आई थिंक फर्स्ट मैच में थोड़ा सा उसका पोटेंशियल नहीं था, लेकिन सेकंड मैच में ही लुक्स मच मोर बेटर. सो फॉर मी इट्स अपूया, जो मेरे को लगा कि डिलीवर अ गुड परफॉर्मेंस. एंड इम्प्रूव तो आई थिंक देयर आर लॉट ऑफ प्लेयर्स जिनको इम्प्रूव करने की जरूरत है. वन ऑफ देम आई थिंक निखिल पुजारी नीड्स टू स्टेप अप नाउ, पर्टिकुलरली थोड़ा सा डिफेंसिवली. अगर वो राइट बैक उसको खिला रहे हो, then he needs to do you can see do more of a defending also. So that's the one thing.
I know.
To say that anyone played well is a little tough. I have to be honest.
Tough.
If I have to say that amongst the weaker performances, then I would say I agree with Hiren. Then I would say Apuya was the most probably our best player, which I found very interesting that the coach actually praised him out in the last press conference after he said 3 or 4 months earlier that Apuya doesn't deserve to be in the national team. That's also a very interesting development. And again, problems, there are tons of them. Actually, the player from whom I had hoped more because he has that experience, it's Sunil, to be very honest. Maybe it's unrealistic from my side, but that I expect something special from Sunil. But Sunil is Sunil. Sunil needs to lead from the front, and the thing is, Sunil had 1 chance each, right? So maybe, who knows, right? Especially the one against Australia. If India score against Australia, you never know. But I would say that my expectations from Sunil are higher. Maybe they're unrealistic. I say that. But I say that someone like Sunil maybe Bahrain scored in the 95th minute.
2019.
Yeah. 91st against India, 95th against Malaysia. Yeah. Maybe it's unrealistic. Maybe and I am. It's hard to see all this criticism that Sunil is getting again, and maybe he himself will decide after the tournament. I know that he wants to play till the summer at least, but maybe age is finally catching up with him, which is sad because he's given us so much. But yeah, let's see.
There's this one question on Trevor's compensation. Do we have any idea of this?
I don't think so कि AFF ने उसके रिगार्डिंग कोई ऐसा रिलीज किया कि इतना उसको कंपनसेशन
कितने दिन का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है वो सब तो बताया, राइट?
It's for the Asian Cup only at the moment.
Asian Cup, हाँ.
He will also reconsider, right, now. Maybe, yeah.
The Bahrain coach was about to hug the 4th official, and the 4th official just goes out of the way. Lovely scene. Yeah. I mean, I know a supposed figure regarding compensation, but I'm not going to publicly discuss it.
You're not allowed to discuss it.
I am allowed to discuss whatever, but I'm not going to throw a figure into the room. Let's put it this way.
Yes. That's called responsible sharing, guys. some of a lot of us can learn something here. I know, and Hiren, moving on to the next topic that we also wanted to touch upon today, which is that there is a tentative calendar that everybody has been talking about on social media. Of course, there is no official announcement by the AIFF, but there are some respectable news organizations and some Twitter handles that have gone ahead and shared a tentative calendar. Firstly, Arnava, do you think it is actually a tentative calendar per se? Can we expect some changes in it? And if not, if yes, what are your thoughts, both of you? And recommendations, because Hiren, I know that you created multiple tweets where you had mentioned how the calendar should be, and that is one thing that we've spoken about a lot in the past. That there's absence of calendar, which of course adds up to the chaos in the system. So आपने multiple tweets वगैरह किए तो आपने you've done thorough research on this. So both of you, like your take.
सर आप बताओ, पहले आप बताओ.
See, I think the calendar is something of a discussion which has been ongoing. I think the main thing is that next season, this season itself, it will happen that the ISL will first time spill over into the IPL. So that's the first thing that I see, is that next season that will be become a normal thing. That the days are gone where the ISL finished before the IPL. The other point is that, again, the question of reactivation of the Federation Cup, and it will be played across the season. But for me, again, rather than looking at that senior schedule, what I find more important would be, I mean, we know that the under-17 league has now started locally across India. What happened to the under-13 and under-15 league?
उसमें सर न्यूज़ आ रही कि they are doing the TW3 testing to all the club players who are participating.
That testing has been done now thrice already, but the league has not been played, right? So the point here is, when are the leagues happening, right? So to me, it's very important that needs to be set up. What are we having an under-19 league as well? To bridge that gap from youth to senior level. We've got the Reliance Foundation Developmental League, which will start in a few weeks as well. Okay, TK, that I've got. But how are we playing football on a regular basis, let's say from October to April, across all age groups, men and women? I think that's going to be very, very important. I mean, okay, in the women's side, one has to compliment the AFF, the IWL, finally home and away. Promotion relegation is coming in next season. Good. But when is the Indian women's national team going to play again? It's not played in the last windows, right? So therefore, so that's a question of how do we structure it? Shaggy saying Karnataka State Football Association concluding youth leagues, right? Goa, I think, is also in its final stages, but they have a different setup of under 10s, 12s, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So from that perspective, so we need to, that's, I think, a very important question, and those need to be asked of the federation.
Yeah. I also have a follow-up question on this. Can you also help us understand the process of making a calendar for a proper season, because multiple federations must be having different ways of processing, and an organized setup and an unorganized setup, of course, have different ways of going about things. So in an ideal setup, how is the calendar set up?
What they could do is, a federation normally looks at the international dates. So what are my FIFA match dates? What are my AFC competition dates? And put those dates first into the calendar. Then you start putting in what are the important sort of potential holidays, or festivals which affect a calendar. So you put in Durga Puja, you put in Diwali, you put in Christmas, and then see, okay, can I keep those New Year's, for example, can I keep those days sort of say match free? Then you put in, when does the IPL start? When does the IPL end? Are there any elections? So then you start building a calendar, and then normally you should, which you didn't because you put the Kolkata Derby on Lakshmi Puja Day in Kolkata, which is a non-starter because Kolkata police will never grant you. So therefore, these are the things, and then you start building your calendar. You go back to the clubs and your local state associations. Says, are the stadiums available? Are the stadiums not available? Are the police going to provide security? Are the police not going to provide security? So then it gets a hence and forth, and then you try and set the dates. For example, the AFF will tell the ISL, listen, this is the window, you have to play your dates. Okay. The ISL then starts making its own calendar. The AFF then makes the I-League calendar, and this year they did the third division. Today, the second division kicked off I-League 2. And that way, you try and build a calendar and try and factor in. The AFF has put a lot of emphasis on state competitions. Santosh Trophy, women's nationals, youth nationals, and all that stuff. So those things you have to factor in as well. So then you try and create sort of parallel patterns, and then and try and build a calendar with it.
Hiren, your take.
I think the most important thing जो इस year से सीखनी चाहिए एफए को, the coordination between all the parties involved in the Indian football, the tournament organizers. Either it will be Durand Cup, either it will be your new Federation Cup or whatever Super Cup होगा, अभी पता नहीं है. ISL FSDL के साथ ISL का कैलेंडर, स्टेट एफएस के साथ हमने देखा है कि कोलकाता वो लीग को कराने के लिए आपके डेट्स आपको चेंज, वो सारी चीजें आई थिंक इस सीजन हमने फेस की है. तो आई थिंक सब स्टेक होल्डर्स को साथ में बिठा के आई थिंक एक प्रॉपर प्लानिंग के साथ अगर आप कैलेंडर बनाओगे तो उसका जो एग्जीक्यूशन है वो ज्यादा रियलिस्टिक होगा, एंड उससे जो आपको क्लेशेस और वो सारी चीजें जो इस सीजन आपने क्या बोलते फेस की उसको आई थिंक आप अवॉइड कर सकते हो. तो आई थिंक दैट विल बी द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट थिंग, एंड आई कंप्लीटली एग्री विद सर ऑन दी रादर देन सीनियर फुटबॉल कैलेंडर. आई थिंक उसमें तो उतना ज्यादा आपका आई थिंक नेक्स्ट सीजन उतना ज्यादा दिक्कत इसलिए नहीं आएगा क्योंकि बीच में कोई ऐसा बड़ा टूर्नामेंट नहीं है जैसे एशियन कप है, तो आपका वो जो 1-1.5 महीने का जो पूरा था वो आई थिंक उतना ज्यादा अफेक्ट नहीं होने वाला है. So इसमें वो नहीं है, बट आई थिंक द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट थिंग इज योर यूथ फुटबॉल सेटअप, एंड उसका कैलेंडर किस तरह से है, अंडर 13, 15, 17, 19, 20, अंडर 19 लीग और उसकी लीग्स किस तरह से आप ऑर्गेनाइज करने वाले, क्योंकि आपने कुछ टाइम पहले ही यहाँ पे अंडर 20 लीग्स का अनाउंसमेंट किया था कि इस सीजन से ही हम करने वाले हैं, लेकिन वो तो नहीं हो रही है. आपके अंडर 13, 15 अभी भी बची हुई है. आपका आई लीग आज से स्टार्ट हो रहा है जबकि वो काफी पहले टाइम से हो जाना चाहिए था. तो दिस आर दी फैक्टर्स जो कि आई थिंक काउंट आउट करने चाहिए. और एक चीज मैं देख रहा हूँ कि आपके उसी सीजन में आपका क्या बोलते हैं कि जो स्टेट लीग का विनर है वो आपका आई लीग 3 में खेल रहा है, फिर वो ऐसे होता जा रहा है. तो आई थिंक वो कोऑर्डिनेशन बिठाना स्टेट के साथ, स्टेट लीग्स का, कि भाई जिस सीजन स्टेट लीग का विनर आया है वो उस सीजन खेले और वो प्रमोशन रेलिगेशन हो. आई थिंक वो कोऑर्डिनेशन बिठाना भी जरूरी है. तो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स तो आई थिंक उनको कंसिडर करनी चाहिए, एंड उसके बाद अगर कैलेंडर बनाएंगे तो आई थिंक जो क्लेसेस है चाहे वो स्टेट एफएस के साथ हो या फिर स्टेट कंपटीशन के साथ हो या फिर बाकी जो इंटरनेशनल कंपटीशन या फिर उन सब के साथ, आई थिंक वो नहीं होंगे. अदरवाइज तो आपको फिर से वो कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा सा वो क्लेसेस तो दिखे.
We can't hear you, Akshata.
Sorry, I was on mute. I said pretty much we've like summarized this well. I League 2 also, Hiren, you wanted to touch upon. And IWL 2 also, there's some sort of confusion, Abibi, as Shaggy mentioned. So, guys, if you have any questions related to Indian women's football, please also make sure that you follow Shaggy on Twitter and Roshan Kuruvilla. Both of them are covering a lot of women's football extensively. But I League 2, Hiren.
सर मैं इसमें आपसे यही जानना चाहता था रिगार्डिंग दिस प्रमोशन कि इसी सीजन एक स्टेट का कोई जो स्टेट लीग विनर है उसने प्रमोशन उसको अपने क्या बोलते स्टेट एफए ने नॉमिनेट किया फॉर द आई लीग 3. वो आई लीग 3 खेला, वहां पे वो जीत गया, एंड इसी सीजन वो आई लीग 2 भी खेल रहा है. सो हाउ टू यू कैन से कि बैलेंस आउट दिस कोऑर्डिनेशन कि एक ही सीजन में एक क्लब आप देखिए इतना ज्यादा एक क्या बोलते कि प्रमोशन लेके अपर लीग में चला गया, इसको नेक्स्ट सीजन से किस तरह से ठीक किया जाए? व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन दैट?
See, the team playing I League 3 I-League, they're calling it I-League 3, but de facto it's
हाँ
I-League 2 qualifiers.
हाँ
So,
exactly
so I mean, we've had that. We've had that during COVID. For example, Rajasthan United qualified and Kingsley qualified for played I-League qualifiers in Bangalore, and then a few weeks later played I-League and didn't even have players to play I-League. But again, that was during COVID. So therefore, it's most probably I shouldn't say it, but again, you need to have the knowledge to be able to run these things, right? That's the biggest problem. If you don't have the knowledge and understanding of things, then you do things for the sake of doing things. And of course, the other thing is you're trying to keep state associations happy as well, right? That's
Hmm.
that's the other problem that we have. Why are you having so much of these youth nationals rather than having youth club competitions? I think that's the other
Club
understanding that we have, that these youth state competitions are nice to have, but we need to work on really strengthening the youth club structure. So therefore, that's the main thing that is there. There are so many youth leagues around here. They are left, right, and center. What is the structure of all these grassroots baby leagues and all that stuff? So therefore,
Hmm.
there's a lot to be rectified in Indian football. It's not just, one thing will not rectify. We have so many things to rectify. I mean, I could hold most probably a 24-hour monologue to say what needs to all rectification. Things are that bad. And that's the reality. And then nobody wants to realize that. I think that's the thing. I think there's a certain view which is common because people are realizing that where we stand, people are now realizing that all that was being said last summer, that those were, fake dreams. So therefore, lot of work needs to be done to rectify the structure in Indian football, I think. And
I think
it's the state associations need to pick up. The state association needs to do their work. Shaggy has mentioned the Karnataka State Football Association. Yes, they've done a lot of things right. Mizoram has got a certain structure. Manipur had structure, but Manipur again has its own set of problems now. Goa had its structure that has it's been destructive over the last few years as well. There's a lot of
सर
work to be done across India.
एक चीज और मैं यहाँ पे इसमें ऐड करना चाहूंगा कि यूथ स्ट्रक्चर में आई थिंक अगर आप यूथ क्लब स्ट्रक्चर लाते हो तो उसमें आपको ये भी बैलेंस आउट करना पड़ेगा कि आपकी जो यूथ की नेशनल टीम है उसको किस तरह से मैचेस मिल पाए, क्योंकि ये भी एक आई थिंक वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट फैक्टर है कि सिर्फ हम हमारी अंडर 17 अंडर 19 अंडर 23 टीम तभी रेडी करते हैं जब साफ क्वालिफिकेशन या फिर एशियन कप क्वालिफिकेशन आती है। अदरवाइज आप देखिए बाकी कंट्रीज की अंडर 23 टीम्स अंडर 20 टीम्स रेगुलरली जब फीफा विंडोज या फिर उस तरह का टाइम होता है तो उसमें उनकी टीम्स बाकी कंट्रीज के साथ मैचेस खेलते हैं जबकि इंडिया वो नहीं खेलती। तो हाउ टू फैक्टर इन कि उनको भी जैसे आप सीनियर टीम का बना रहे हो आईएसएल एंड फीफा विंडोज, आई थिंक वो उस तरह से आपको लोअर डिवीजन में भी ये लाना पड़े, सॉरी आपकी यूथ फुटबॉल स्ट्रक्चर में भी ये लाना पड़ेगा कि जहाँ पे आपकी तो यूथ लेवल की क्लब कंपटीशन होगी और आपके साथ में नेशनल टीम की जो अंडर 17 आपकी टीम उसके लिए भी मैचेस
No.
का अरेंजमेंट
So I will say no, because at under 17 level, what needs to happen is under 17
है।
at youth level, be it under 17, under 19, under 20, your windows will not always match your scheduling. So, and what happens also around the world is also those youth teams have extended camps, which can be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then you play matches, or you go on a tour, you play tournaments. We've done that in the past. We've gone to the IMG Academy in Florida and trained there for a while, played XYZ and played multiple matches. Therefore, that is that's an important thing. But the point is what is our vision? Where do we want to see our things? If you look at Vision 2047, it says till 2026, one of our youth teams should be qualifying for a World Cup. Where is this plan? Where are these exposures? Who's our under 17 coach at the moment? Because under 16 coach tha Ishfaq, and then Ishfaq went off and is now coaching in the I-League. We don't have where is that setup? That's the thing. That's a lot of things have been wrong, but even before the forced change was done, certain things were in place.
I think do you feel the shutdown of Indian Aero is one of the biggest mistake? I think so,
Yes.
because जब तक
I always said
आपका
that.
ये जो यूथ सेटअप जब तक आपका अगर आप उसके क्या बोलते कि रिप्लेसमेंट में या फिर उसके अल्टरनेटिव में कोई चीज लाना चाहते थे तो जब तक वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो जाती तब तक तो उसको रन करना चाहिए था। आपने उसका जो बजट है वो शट डाउन करके आपने बोल दिया कि हम ये लाने वाले हैं, लेकिन वो अभी तक आप इम्प्लीमेंट ही नहीं कर पाए हो। और आपका ये जो 2 साल का बैच है, आई थिंक वो आपको मिल नहीं पाएगा। ऑलरेडी आप कोविड के चलते पिछले 2 साल का भी मिस था। तो आई थिंक दिस 3-4 years ऑफ द बैच ऑफ इंडियन एरोज विल कंप्लीटली यू कैन से कि आपके पास नहीं है। एंड अभी जितने भी नेशनल टीम में कोई भी प्लेयर है, मोस्ट ऑफ देम आर कमिंग फ्रॉम दैट इंडियन एरोज सेटअप। सो आई थिंक दैट्स द वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट ब्लंडर.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, yes.
Yeah. Uh, Sometimes it just all feels so hopeless. And my only concern is that I don't want the talks to stop as soon as the AFC Asian Cup ends, because, of course, right now the momentum is there. People are talking about what is happening. But as soon as things end, people will, of course, move on with their own lives and they'll stop talking about it. And things will just carry on the way they have for so long. So, as
नहीं
Indian
नहीं
football
इसमें
fans, we
अक्सर
can
नहीं
continue to talk. I think that's very important.
नहीं
जी नहीं.
नहीं इसमें एक चीज और भी है कि जो लोग रन कर रहे हैं या फिर कुछ टाइम पहले कर रहे थे, वो लोग दिखा रहे हैं कि वी नो दी फुटबॉल, वी नो हाउ टू रन दी फुटबॉल, वी वर्क ऑन दी मेनी प्रोजेक्ट्स, वो शो ऑफ कर रहे हैं। लेकिन दे आर दी पार्ट ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम। वो उनके पास पावर था, उन्होंने क्या किया हम देख लिया। So I think that is the you can say कि the biggest thing कि जो I think change होनी चाहिए after this Asian Cup. It's not only about the senior teams. I think these are the चीज, ये सारी चीजें भी change होनी पड़ेगी। I think it's a high time कि there are a lot of, and I think कल भी हमने ये बार बार मैंने बोला था कि there should be a revolution, कि थोड़ी सी चीजें आपकी change होनी पड़ेगी, तभी जाके
Yeah.
कुछ आप एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो। सिर्फ आप कोच को निकाल दोगे, कुछ प्लेयरों को हटा दोगे, तो आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो कि आप नेक्स्ट एशियन कप में अच्छा कर लोगे। नो, देयर विल बी चेंजेस एट द एएफएफ आल्सो। सो आई थिंक इस तरह के पीपल को थोड़ा सा डिस्टेंस करना चाहिए। द राइट पीपल विद द राइट नॉलेज एंड राइट इंटेंट, द पीपल हु वांट टू एक्चुअली वर्क फॉर द यू कैन से इंडियन फुटबॉल, उनको लाना पड़ेगा एंड उनको रिस्पांसिबिलिटी देनी पड़ेगी कि हाँ भाई
But I
यू कैन।
agree, Dave. I completely agree on all of this. But my question is, कौन लाएगा और कब लाएगा? बट ये तो हम कितने टाइम से बातें कर रहे हैं कि somebody, but हो क्या रहा है?
There
And
are
I
a,
know
you can say
that.
there are lots of people in front of the eyes, but it's just about कि you have to give them a responsibility and वो देना पड़ेगा आपको। आपको चमचों को नहीं सिर्फ अपॉइंट करना है, या फिर दो मीठी बातें बोल दी या फिर वो कर दी, उनको नहीं लाना है। आपको जो पीपल आपको मुंह पे बोल पाए कि सर ये करना पड़ेगा, ये गलत हो रहा है, दिस इज व्हाट वी नीडेड, चाहे फैंस को बुरा लगे किसी को भी लगे, बट दिस इज एक्चुअली नीडेड, वो करना पड़ेगा आपको। क्या बोलते हैं कि जी यस सर वाले लोगों को नहीं अपॉइंट करना है। दैट इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द टॉप मैनेजमेंट।
Yeah.
सो आई थिंक वो आएंगे तभी हो पाएगा। अदरवाइज दिस ऑल आर दी थिंग्स कहीं ना कहीं यहाँ पे उसी सर्कल में घूमती रहेगी। वी आर इन अ विशियस सर्कल ऑफ यू कैन से की प्रोग्रेस इन लास्ट यू कैन से की सो मेनी इयर्स। आई डोंट नो, मतलब आई थिंक 3 4 5 6 डिकेड वट एवर। सो आई थिंक वो चेंज होगा तब थोड़ा सा आपको उम्मीद बढ़ेगी ना, तब जाके कुछ हो पाएगा। सो आई थिंक जितना हम बोल रहे हैं कि कोच को निकालो इसको निकालो, ये भी होना चाहिए कि इन सबको भी हटाओ कि जो द पीपल जिसके पास राइट नॉलेज नहीं है या फिर सिर्फ वहां पे अपने क्या बोलते हैं कि जुगाड़ से पहुंच गए सबके वो करके, उनको हटाना पड़ेगा। एंड राइट पीपल विद द राइट नॉलेज कि जो इसको एक्चुअल में काम किया हुआ है इस फील्ड में और डिलीवर करके दिया है, उनको लाना पड़ेगा।
True. Yeah. Before we end the stream, Arnava, Hiren, do you have any closing remarks?
आई थिंक
I
आई
think
हैव
I,
समड अप
yeah.
माय।
Bolo, bolo.
नहीं 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 नहीं, मैंने तो अपनी बात रख दी है सर, आप बताइए।
One thing is important, guys. Thank you for watching our streams. Following us and keep spreading the word. I think that's very, very important. More people watching it, listening, being part of the discussion, I think is very, very important. I know you guys have a lot of ideas of what should be done, what can be done. The reality is that certain ideas will not happen. I've seen this idea that we should switch to Kafa from SAF. It's not our decision. It's an AFC involvement. It involves all nations, and we're not moving to Kafa. So that's not going to happen. PIO, OCIs, I don't know if it will ever happen. That is something. And I think it's a question of the stakeholders of Indian football realizing that they have a huge part to play. I think some of it is shocking to see how certain people are putting out opinions where you either think, do you know anything about it, or are you being told to say something? It's bad, and and we should always come forward and support the national team. I still do support the national team, and I will support uh, the national team. But the the important is that changes are needed. I think we need to fight for changes to happen at the top. Otherwise, um, I think Abhishek was it who said it. These conversations probably will be there in 2 decades, and I've been having these conversations for over 2 decades.
Mm.
And we need to be there. I think voices need to be heard. Um, I think I'm uh, trying to uh, trying to do my little bits that I have. I think 99% of what I've done for Indian football is not known to the public, so that's fine. But I know what I've done over the years, and I will still try and do it. So everyone has their little bits and little parts to play, and yeah, and that's going to be very, very important. Indian football, if we give up on Indian football, things will remain the same, or will actually, if they remain the same, it will get worse because the others are improving around us. And that's the challenge, I think, that we need to understand, that even the little bit that we have improved over the last 2 years, the others have been faster. And the higher people need to understand is do your job or get out of the way and allow people to run Indian football who will take Indian football forward. I think that's the most important thing. Don't play politics with it. We've seen what it's done, right? We've seen what
Mm.
it's done. It's led to a suspension of India, and afterwards things have not gotten better. That's the reality. And these people know that what they've done, but they've done it out of own interest, and this has harmed Indian football a lot. So therefore, yeah, a lot of changes are needed.
Yeah, a lot of a lot of changes needed, and hopefully we will see them before we all pass on to the next lifetime. That's the only hope कि जीते जी हो जाए कुछ अच्छे changes in Indian football में, so that we can also talk about it and see our country in the bigger world stages. Thank you so much, Reena and Anurag, once again for joining us. We'll be back, guys, if not tomorrow, day after, and we'll speak more about the India match against Syria. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care and keep supporting Indian football.